Hey, low riders, it's me, Lois, on this happy Monday. And I'm here to talk about part 2 of my Everyone Against Melody series. Today, we're going to get into Kimmi Scott. I don't think Kimmi liked Melody from day one. That's just my personal opinion. And I think that she was jealous of the friendship between Melody and LaTisha. And she felt in order to prove herself as a true sister-in-law to be, because she wasn't her sister-in-law at that time, that she felt the need to integrate or ingratiate herself between Melody and LaTisha's friendship. I think LaTisha and Melody's friendship was genuine until Kimmi Grant came on the scene and wanted to be in charge of LaTisha. That's just my opinion, okay? I believe that she saw that Melody was a superstar and that Melody basically had her ducks in a row. She had things in order. And she was able to maneuver and do multiple things. She was a multitasker, and she kept her home in order. She kept her business in order, and her friendship was in order. And I think that it bothered Kimmi because she wasn't so together as she thought she was. In Kimmy's mind, allegedly, and in my opinion, she was the it girl because she was a little older and she snagged a younger man. And because she snagged this younger man who just happened to be linked to LaTisha, she figured her move was to bring LaTisha on board with her and her way of thinking against Melody Shari Rodgers, and I don't like that, and that is allegedly or alleged, and in my opinion, I think Kimmi was a snake out the gate. She just didn't like Melody's whole aesthetic. She didn't like how she moved. She didn't like how she grooved. She didn't like how she mingled with people. She didn't like the love that people had for Melody, and she didn't like the admiration that Melody was receiving. And LaTisha Scott was one of the people that had that admiration and respect for Melody. And Kimmi found a way to put a bug in LaTisha's ear to make LaTisha second guess everything in regards to their friendship. I also think that Kimmi is the one that thought she was better than everyone because she was older, and she felt she was more knowledgeable because she was a nurse and she had raised a child single-handedly, and a bunch of other things that probably went on through her head, allegedly, and in my opinion. Okay? I think that Kimmi is very sneaky. I'm a firm believer that she's really sneaky, and she says things to sound intelligent, and that like she knows more than you know, when she really don't know what the fuck she doing. She winging it just like everybody else. I think Kimmi is insecure because she knows her real status is that of mistress. Okay? I don't give a flipping dip how you want to label it. She was a mistress. You know what I'm saying? But she wanted to prove herself to be better than everyone else, especially Ariane Curry. And let's not forget, Kimmi was the first one to mention Ariane Curry's name on Love and Marriage Huntsville. And that is not alleged, and in my opinion. That's a fact. It is my opinion, but it is a fact. Okay. I think Kimmi saw that Melody was a mover and a shaker, and she didn't understand how she was able to do all this moving and shaking and still come out smelling like a rose and looking beautiful every day and being just gracious with everyone who came in her presence. Kimmi is another one who put her feet under Melody's table and stabbed her in the back. I have yet to see anything that Kimmi Grant or Kimmi Grant Scott has done for Melody by way of supporting her in everything that she has been going through. All the cheating scandals, all the cast against Melody, all the little clicks on the side, all the giving Melody the cold shoulder. I haven't seen Kimmy support her in any of that. I have not seen Kimmy speak out to anyone about that. I haven't seen Kimmy take a stance or a stand against anyone who came against Melody Shari Rodgers. She just sat back and shook her head, twisted her head, her lips a little bit, and just Google-eyed at Martell. You know what I'm saying? It's like she knew her position, so she was okay being in that position, and was feeling that Martell is king because he was out catting around and doing what he was doing. So in Kimmy's eyes, he was a god, Greek god, or whatever the flippin' dip you want to call him. I think Kimmy is disillusioned by herself, or about herself. I think she thought more highly of herself than she actually is. And then once she met someone who really had it going on and could do all the things that she has always aspired to do and be, she became salty about it, because Melody was a wife. She was not a single parent. She was a wife. You know what I'm saying? She had all of her children during her marriage. You know what I'm saying? And she had a man in the household that was helping her raise her children. Because let's be clear, before all the nonsense with the cheating came out on Love and Marriage Huntsville, Martell Holt was a good father. He knew his place because he knew his wife was the one that was handling business, and he was okay with falling back and allowing Melody to do that. And I think that Kimmy saw their dynamic and became jealous, and she just decided, well, I'm not going to support this woman because she thinks she's better than me. Although that's not what Melody was thinking, allegedly, and in my opinion, that's what Kimmy was thinking and feeling. And she allowed her jealousy of another woman to overcloud her thoughts and overshadow every sense of decency she had in supporting another woman in the trials and tribulations that Melody Scott was going through. Melody Shari Rodgers was going through. Kimmi Grant decided that Melody was the enemy without realizing that she had decided that Melody was the enemy. Kimmy has not shown any loyalty to Melody at all. I think she puts up a phony front, when Melody does beautiful things for her. Oh my God, thank you so much. You were so thoughtful. I think that Kimmy said, well, in her head, she's saying, well, that's the least you can do since you make the most money out of all of us. And this is alleged and in my opinion. But I feel that Kimmy thinks that Melody should be beneath them because she's younger. She was the baby of the crowd, and she's the most successful and the most gracious and the most humble out of all of them. Out of all of the things that Melody has gotten and acquired, humility is the biggest one of them. And I think that bothers Kimmi Grant to no end. She just cannot fathom how a woman like Melody has gone through so much hate and vitriol and can still stand with a smile on her face. And that truly, truly bothers her. I firmly believe that Kimmy is the reason that LaTisha and Melody are no longer friends. I also firmly believe that Kimmy, in her own Kimmy-like way, puts in her what so-called words of wisdom to everybody, which logically makes no sense to me, just to get them to possibly see what she's talking about, even though it's not making any sense. If I can get them to think a little bit like I'm thinking, they may come to my side. That's how I feel Kimmy is. I feel that she's manipulative, sneaky, and I just don't like her whole entire demeanor from season 1, episode 1. It just didn't just begin. This has started from season 1, episode 1, because Kimmy wants everyone to think that she is this great beyond, when a matter of fact, it is Melody that is the great beyond, and she just doesn't understand why. And she hasn't taken the time to understand why, because she just doesn't want to be seen as less than, when that's possibly the way it is, and that's alleged in my opinion. Hey, Lowriders, please get down in the comments and tell me what you think about this video. I appreciate all feedback, negative or positive. Please look out for my 3rd video, where I'm going to be doing part 3 of Everybody Against Melody in regards to Destiny Payton. Thank you so much for listening. Peace.